You've got gestational diabetes. This might sound scary, but it's definitely not about you having too much sugar. It's about the placenta doing its work super efficient. I'm Zainab. I'm the pharmacist from Pill Sorted, and I'll explain the science behind what causes gestational diabetes, how do we screen for it, and how can we manage it. Gestational diabetes is a condition when the sugar levels rise too high in your body, and it's usually around the second and third trimester. What happens is the brand new organ that's made in our body called the placenta, which is in charge of giving the baby a sustainable, regular amount of energy and glucose, creates a hormone, and that hormone causes insulin resistance in the mother's body. It wants to make more sugar available for the baby. That's why it causes mother's body to have more sugar around. Now, if there's a spike in the sugar levels, or if the pancreas doesn't keep up with the demand to make the insulin, there'll be too much sugar in the mother's body, and that can cause a risk both for the baby and for the mother. So insulin is the hormone that moves the glucose from your body into the cells. During pregnancy, the placental hormones block this hormone so that they can make more glucose available for the baby. Now, if there's a spike in the sugar levels, or if the pancreas can't keep up with the demand, what happens is the blood sugar levels rises in the mother's body, and that can cause a risk both for the baby and for the mother. And there are lots of different risk factors that can make you more susceptible to have gestational diabetes. So if there's a family background of diabetes, if you have had gestational diabetes in previous pregnancies, if you are on a higher weight, if your body already has a insulin resistance, so for example in PCOS, these can be all risk factors that we'll start monitoring more carefully for gestational diabetes. Now, how do we measure for it? There is a screening test called the oral glucose tolerance test, the OGTT. That's done between weeks 24 and 28. And what we've tried to understand here is what's the baseline of your glucose, and then what happens when you have a sugary drink. So you'd be asked to come in while fasting, so not having had breakfast, but you can have water, and we'll measure the blood sugar at that time. Then you're asked to have a sugary drink and come back within an hour or two, and then we'll check the blood again. Now, what we want to see is how much of a spike happens in your glucose levels, and what was the baseline. What we're looking for, a fasting glucose level is around the 5 millimole per deciliter, and after a sugary drink it should rise to around less than 8 millimole per deciliter. But if it goes higher than that, that can be a signature, it can be a sign, and we might ask you to come and do the test again. Now, why does it matter? So maintaining a steady blood sugar level is really important for the baby's growth, but having consistently high blood sugar levels is dangerous for the baby, and it's dangerous for the mother. So the good thing is it is quite manageable, and there are some easy ways to fix that. For example, what are the practical things that you can do to support you with that? First, you might be given a device to check your blood tests regularly, so early in the morning when you wake up, or after the meals, so that we can understand the fluctuations. The other thing is you should pair your carbohydrates. That's one of the most important things. What that means is if you want to have anything that has got carbohydrates, pair it with either a protein or a fiber, and that makes the spike disappear. Or try to leave all of the carbohydrates to the end of your meal. So if you're having your main meal, have everything, then eat the rice or the pasta in the meal. So a couple of good examples for pairing: if you have banana and peanut butter together, that's really good. If you have yogurts and berries together, that's good. Oat cakes and cheese together are good. So this sort of pairing will give a very good nutritional value for the baby. The other really important one is movement. Even 10-15 minutes of movement really helps regulate the sugar levels in your body. The 3 is measure your blood glucose and make sure that you pair your carbohydrates with other food like protein and fiber. And the 3rd one is keep moving as much as you can. Most of the time, the gestational diabetes is resolved once the placenta comes out of your body. So after labor, once the placenta comes out, your blood sugars get regulated by themselves. But it might be a risk factor for later diabetes. So it's a good thing to monitor your blood sugars every couple of months, but especially after 6 weeks to 12 weeks after birth, so that we want to make sure that the blood sugars are gradually getting regulated back. As a recap, gestational diabetes diabetes is just a mismatch between the insulin resistance that's happening in your body and the amount of insulin that needs to be produced. It causes an extra glucose level in your body. It is quite manageable and it usually gets relieved after birth. This video is part of our pregnancy series videos. Visit our website and reach out to us for that clinician-led safe advice. Thank you.